Hi, I'm Lakani, and I've written this play that you're about to watch, Senses of Responsibility. I was inspired to write the play based upon my own experience of growing up as a young carer. I felt like I didn't really see any stories in the media about young carers, and I wanted to represent them. I'm really proud to be working with Manchester City Council and their Young Carers Partnership. They're doing some really great work that's taking place in the city so that the young carers have the same opportunities as their peers. Being able to bring my play Senses of Responsibility to life so that it can be used as a resource in schools is a really proud moment for me. I hope you enjoy the play. What do you know about young carers?
Hi everyone, I'm Simone. I'm 19. Started looking after my mum when I was about 14. That's when she started to get a bit more ill. I've been managing just fine, but I've been told I need to accept support. So here I am with the group, getting support. Have I said enough? Sorry, I've just never really done one of these things before, so I don't really know how it works. Sorry, I'm just babbling now. I'll let someone else go. I wake up and I go straight to the toilet. A moment to myself before the day begins. I throw on some clothes, anything I can find laying around on the floor. I pop the kettle on, filling it up exactly halfway, and I go to wake Mum up. Morning, what do you want for breakfast? I ask. Cereal, she groans, stirring. Hold on, I'll go prepare breakfast and I'll be back in a sec. I proceed to make her a cup of coffee, filling it only halfway and the rest with cold water. I place a straw in the cup and a bowl of cereal with a small amount of milk and a spoon on the table in the living room. It's one of those tall tables, so that when she sits down on the sofa, I can push it in closer to her. I go and help Mum out of bed, and she clings to me with such force I nearly lose my balance. Take it easy, I say, holding her up, scared that she'll fall if I don't preempt her movements. I usher her to the living room and place her down on the blue sponge pillow. It's one of those supportive cushions that help prevent from bed sores. Not before she tells me she needs the toilet. Probably should have gone there first. So we're up again, and I hold her, ensuring that she's balanced. I try not to look while she does a thing. I mean, we're close, but I wanted to have some privacy. Tissue, she tries to grab some, not before I hand her a few sheets. She's done, so I help her get her PJ bottoms up, and we go over to the sink to wash her hands. And her hands flail around in the water, splashing me and soaking my trousers. I tell her, don't worry. And then we're back in the living room. Telly on, some morning TV rubbish. We don't really pay attention to it, it's just background filler. Mum tries to navigate feeding herself. She wants to be independent and fights it every time, and then before I know it, Cocoa Pops everywhere. Honestly, it's fine. I mean, she can't help it. She rushes to clean it up. I grab a brush and I clean it up. can see her face scrunch up. She tells me that she's sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about, I say. I clean up and pop to the kitchen to start again. Mum, I'm going to help. I'll hold the spoon. She's reluctant, but she accepts. The cat Honey brushes up against her leg and Mum tries to pet her, but Honey jumps to the other side of the room. Now, I don't like the cat and I don't think the cat likes me, but Mum loves her, so I put up with her. I take a medication out the pack. It's assortments of different colourful shapes and sizes. It's actually crazy how many she takes. Are you ready for your pills? I ask. I'm ready for my sweeties, she says, and we laugh. One by one, she pops them in her mouth. She sips her coffee through the straw. She dribbles. I wipe. I cosy up on the sofa with her and place my legs over hers to stop the involuntary movements, albeit temporarily. Ambulances take ages to arrive. Even where I'm from, I mean, you can call an ambulance and go through the whole spiel of, yeah, she's still breathing. Yeah, this is on the side of her head. I know. You answer all the questions knowing that you've given enough information, and they tell you that the paramedics will be with you very soon. But soon doesn't feel soon enough. The time that you wait in feels so drawn out, like you're waiting for bread to bake. Except you're not. So in the time waiting for the ambulance, I managed to put Mum in the recovery position. Now, this is something that I actually know really well. I mean, when I was in school, I took a first aid course. The man running the class was like an older white guy with grey balding hair and slightly on the chubbier side. He went on to tell us how he used to be a paramedic, and he seemed very wise. And I listened attentively, making notes, sure not to miss anything. And then, when it came to the recovery position, I volunteered to go first. I was confident, and everyone in class seemed surprised. I put the dummy in the recovery position and beamed up to the course leader, eager to know if I'd gotten it correct.
Well done,
He says.
You certainly know your stuff for somebody so young.
Thank you, I say. The sense of achievement I felt that day was amazing. I got my certificate a few days later from the head teacher, and when I opened it, the writing inside said, passed with 100%. At least I was good for something. Mum looked at it when I got home and she said she was proud of me. And that's all I want, for my mum to be proud of me. I had to use every ounce of my strength to move her. You see, human beings are heavier than you'd think. The paramedics arrive and ask if I'm okay, but I'm more concerned about Mum. And then I remember one of them was my friend's mum, Tracy. She's dead lovely. I think it was her accent. They say that Geordie accents are supposed to be soothing in stressful situations. Do you want to go with her? And for some reason I instantly said, no. And then she said, Achilles, since you're a minor, we can't leave you here on your own. You're going to have to come with me, pet. You don't want to be on your own for your birthday. It'll be a fun ride in the ambulance, mind. So a fun ride in the ambulance it was. I mean, I was excited, but also super nervous. And my stomach would go in knots every time we'd weave round a corner. I mean, top speed, sirens blurring. It felt like I was in a film. I held Mum's hand the whole way there. I felt a grip get tighter and it hurt, but I didn't let go. Epileptic fits. They happen often to Mum, and I can't quite remember the first time I saw this happen. kind of used to it now, to the point where it doesn't faze me or I know what to do. I think most people would be quite alarmed seeing somebody that they love have a fit, but not me. I can handle it. School found out, kind of. They picked up on it. It's kind of obvious, I guess. I mean, I've been continuing as normal, keeping my head down, getting the work done, but I don't want them to know. Because when they do, things will change. It won't be the same, And what with Mum's condition, I think we need as much familiarity as possible. You see, Mum doesn't like change, and well, neither do I.
You can take a seat.
Am I in trouble?
Is everything okay at home?
You didn't answer my question.
You didn't answer mine. Look, Simony, you're not in trouble. We just need to get to the bottom of things, all right? What's going on with you?
I don't know what you mean.
You've fallen behind on your coursework. It's not like you.
I can catch up easily.
Is there anything more we can do to support you?
No, it's fine. I just need a bit more time.
Other teachers have noticed you're not present in class, Simony.
I am.
We want you to do well. Look, Simony, if there's something
I will.
more...
It's just some things have been getting on top of me.
Okay, and why is that?
I've been looking after my mum, that's all.
Okay. And what about you?
I can look after myself.
I know. But perhaps it's time we got some more support for you. You don't need to look so worried. We'll sort something out, all right? Everything's going to be fine.
Okay. Thank you. I'll never forget the day that Mum found out about the genetic condition. I was 14 and Mum was only 41. The doctor had called to say there'd been some developments in her tests and she needed to come to the surgery as soon as possible. It was chucking it down, so we got a taxi. I could tell she was nervous, so I held her arm close to mine, and we were in this together. We walked to the surgery and waited. We didn't have to wait for long, only about 3 minutes. I remember this because we got there at 14:50 and we were in the room with Dr. Shelby by 14:53. Dr. Shelby proceeds to tell Mum that she has a rare condition called neurotrypathanopathy. Gosh, it's a mouthful, I know. Neurotrypathanopathy. We tried to repeat it back to him, but failed. He proceeded to tell Mum that it was a rare condition that caused your muscles and your brain to deteriorate, and that there was no cure and Mum would get progressively worse. He listed the deterioration effects, which included slurred speech, involuntary movements, and uncontrollable emotions, which would affect her mental health. My heart sank. None of this made sense. She'd been fine up until now. I tried to hold it together as Mum burst into tears, telling me that she was sorry. And I told her it was going to be okay. I didn't know what else to say. I knew it wouldn't be, but I felt I had to be strong for Mum. As we went to leave, Dr. Shelby mentions that since it's genetic, I should consider getting myself tested. I ignored him, shrugged it off. Whatever, we'd be fine. The rest of the day was a blur. I vaguely remember watching reruns of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, not realising that that marked the day when everything changed.
Simony cares for her mum who has a genetic condition. What other situations could you be in as a young carer?
I walk into the exam room and find my seat. I take my pen out of my hair and clumsily tuck myself in. And all I can hear is the sound of the clock ticking, each movement of the hand making me feel more and more anxious. I mean, I'm not prepared. I haven't found the time to do the work. I won't be able to focus or answer anything. I'm way too tired. I considered getting up and leaving, but don't. And then the invigilator mutters through the rules and regulations, and then before I know it, he says we can begin. I turn the page and stare at the words and numbers. My head's whirring. I mean, I wrote something. I don't know what. Not looking forward to the results for this one. It's not like I need the grades. I'm not going to university. Not everyone has to go to university. I don't want to. It was just before lunch and I was super hungry. I mean, I could hear my belly rumble. I considered having another chewing gum, but you see, chewing gum's actually banned. I could smell the bolognese wafting through from the canteen and it smelled delicious. I could almost taste it on my tongue. The chewing gum had lost all its flavour. It's the first thing I learnt how to make, bolognese. Mum was quite the chef before I conditioned, and she taught me how to make it from scratch. All the herbs and spices that go into flavouring the sauce. I guess you could say I'm quite simple. It's my easy go-to meal to cook. And Mum used to make it every Sunday. Instead of Sunday dinner, we'd have lasagna or bolognese. I miss those times. I'm staring up at the clock. I'm watching the hands tick by when there's a knock at the classroom door and everybody's heads darted to see who it was. And I heard my name being called, Simony. And my heart started beating so fast, I panicked. I mean, I'd done something wrong. Why me? Mr. Rogers came over and told me to get up. He told me not to worry. And I exited the classroom, all eyes darting into the back of my head. And now all I could taste was the flavourless chewing gum. I wanted to spit it out, so I scanned the corridors for a bin. No joy. So I quickly put it into the palm of my hand. And we walked down so many corridors and into a room I'd never been in before. And there was this lady sat there. She looked dead proper. She seemed quite cold and she said,
Hi there, Simony. I'm your social worker.
My mind went into overdrive. Oh no, they're going to take my mum away from me. And then she said,
I'm here to support you in any way I can as a young carer.
I just stared at them both in shock. I mean, I was surprised. I'd been so busy just getting on with things, I didn't realise there was any support. Yes, I still suck my thumb. But what's wrong with it? I mean, there are worse things I could be doing, like picking my nose or not washing my hands after the toilet. I mean, sometimes I don't wash my hands after the toilet. Anyway, I'm not ashamed of it. It's my comfort. I mean, my mum says I was practically born sucking my thumb. You see, I genuinely came out my mum's belly, and she won't let me forget it. The C-section, that is. I was premature, and we both nearly died. Anyway, Mum dislikes dummies. She thinks they're dirty. So when the nurse offered to give me one when I wasn't settling in the incubator, Mum refused. And then a few hours later, when I was stable enough for her to hold me, I had my thumb in my mouth. I know. I've tried everything I can to stop. We got into a disagreement about my thumb sucking. You see, Mum used to smoke, and I said that if she stopped smoking, I'd stop sucking my thumb. She stopped, and I continued. It's bad, I know, but I've tried everything. I mean, I remember a teacher once asked me if it tastes nice. the taste of anything. And I don't do it for the taste, I do it for the feeling that it gives me. When I'm anxious or stressed or tired and even comfortable. Soothes me. And I'm not going to apologise for it. I'm in the hospital canteen and I figured I should probably eat something before I waste away. So I look at the canteen menu trying to decide what has the most flavour. Fish fingers and chips, sausages and mash, or jacket potato. Why is everything so basic and bland? I settled for a jacket potato with beans and cheese because I figured you can't go wrong, surely. And I sit down and tuck in. The food tastes so sterile, like it's not even real food. I mean, I know it is, but I can't get past the taste. I grabbed some sachets of black pepper in hopes to add some flavour, and I gulp each mouthful feeling sick. It's a mix of my anxiety and the texture of dried up jacket potato. I love chocolate, especially Easter egg chocolate. I swear the eggs are better than normal chocolate. Just me? Oh, well, there's something about the crack of chocolate straight out the fridge and then putting it on your tongue and letting it melt. I think I get it from my mum. She used to treat me to a Freddo on the way home from school when I was little, and I'd be so excited to devour that little frog. You know, there are some people that don't like chocolate or are allergic to it. I feel so sorry for them. I mean, imagine not being able to enjoy a Dairy Milk, an Aero or a Galaxy. Oh, and Mum used to make the best hot chocolates with milk, not water, because that is not the same, with whipped cream and curls of chocolate on top to decorate. I'm not sure Mum tastes much anymore. I think her condition has made her lose her senses. And it's sad because it doesn't seem to matter what meal I make her. It doesn't make much of a difference to her. I found it's easier to cook soft foods. They're easier to chop up and for her to digest. I mean, her tongue's doubled in size and swallowing's become a real effort. I have to remind her to just slow down, not to rush the food, and you can take as much time as you need, just as long as you finish most of it. You see, Mum lost a lot of weight in the first year, and I'm hoping she starts to put it back on. She has to drink these 40 juices. They taste rank. She's always pulling her face when she tastes them, although she has to. They have a lot of calories in them that'll help her gain weight. I've started mixing them with fruit to make them more appealing, like a smoothie, and those seem to go down a lot better. Death. It's a scary thing to think about, but I think about it all the time. Not even my own, but my mum's. The fact that I know she's deteriorating day by day. And there's nothing I can do to help it. I mean, I know it's morbid to think about, but the reality and the truth is, it'll happen. One day. The first time Mum was in hospital, I was terrified. We planned to go to Alton Towers for my 14th birthday, and well, that plan went out the window. I remember sitting in the waiting room and feeling so alone that I actually prayed. Me, the girl who's never stepped foot in church. I've never been religious or anything, but I prayed to God that Mum would make it through this. I've got to believe in something, right? I remember I went to go and hug Mum in the hospital bed, and the nurse came over and said, "Careful there. You don't want to cause her any pain." Thought that was a bit rude. I didn't want to hurt her. I just wanted to let her know I was there. I was holding her hand when she came round. I felt her squeeze mine. I'd only popped to the shops. See, we live next to a shopping centre, which has a Poundland, which actually sells way more than you'd think. I'd only gone for the essentials, milk, sugar, bread. I hadn't gone for long. And before I knew it, I was walking up the driveway and I saw my mum. Just lying there on the floor, completely still. And there was blood. Lots of blood. I think that's what scared me. Seeing it all on the concrete, I knew it was bad. And there was a gash on the top of her forehead from where she fell. Panic mode set in and I called an ambulance. And the paramedics arrived. Remember the Geordie paramedic from before? I mean, thankfully, it was a friendly face. The whole day was just a blur. I mean, I try not to feel angry about it, but I was actually mad. I mean, why did Mum have to get up and go out on her own? I mean, she said it was to put the recycling out, but she knows that's something that I can do. I mean, there's just no need. This didn't have to happen. It's just, why? I don't know what to do.
Simony, how are you today?
I'm tired, to be honest. It's all a bit much. I've decided that I'm not going to pretend that everything's fine because it's not, is it? I need help. There you go. I said it. Are you happy now? I'm in the hospital waiting room, and this place has become like our second home. I mean, it's tired and bleak, and all the chairs are musty and clearly haven't been cleaned since they were bought. I look at the pinboard full of posters. How to spot meningitis in your child, and no amount of antibiotics will cure your cold, and
Vaccines in your baby.
my eyes wire from poster to poster. And they're all so serious. And I noticed one of the panel lights flickering out the corner of my eye. That bulb needs changing. It was like that the last time I was here. I mean, do they not notice it? This place is so... I look around and everybody looks so miserable. I mean, there's an old lady with a black eye, no doubt from a fall that she had, and her husband clutches her hand.
And there's a boy who tries to stop his arm from flopping. I wonder what happened there. I mean, my guess is he fell off a swing. I mean, kids are always hurting themselves playing.
His dad strokes his hair tenderly. As I scan the waiting room, I realise that no one's actually alone. Except me. So I decide to distract myself. I count the panel lights on the ceiling and I get to 20 before being interrupted. And I jolt up, anxious not to be missed. And a friendly white lady with blonde hair and blue eyes takes me into another room. Here we go. Now, I know this hospital like the back of my hand. You can blindfold me and I'm no longer worried that I'll get confused by the various reception desks or scared I'll walk into a room that I'm not supposed to be in. And this place has become so familiar. And I've laughed here, I've cried here, I've slept here.
Maybe I should get a job here.
No, I didn't say I liked it that much.
How could the hospital staff have made the wait better for Simony?
It's getting harder and harder to understand, Mum. She can speak, but not clearly. It's always quite slurred, and I find it quite hard to make out. And obviously she gets emotional about it, which makes it even worse, because then I really can't figure it out. It's like a punch in the gut every time. But I can't get emotional about it in front of her. I mean, I'm losing her as each day goes by. She becomes less and less like herself. I mean, I cry myself to sleep most nights, quietly, so she can't hear. I'm fed up. Fed up of living in this perpetual cycle of loneliness, of sadness, of despair. I wish I could be happy. And if I could, I would, but it's not that simple. I mean, I'm just pretending. I'm playing a part, and I'm putting on a brave face for her. I know it looks like I've got my life together, but I don't. God. I'd just like to get away from here. You know, go on holiday, escape, just sit on a beach and do nothing for a week or two. I've seen those adverts for cruises on TV. Oh, the dream. Stopping off at the Caribbean islands and just breathing in the sea breeze. Unlimited enjoyment. Never actually been on holiday. I mean, Mum used to take me to Morecambe Bay when I was little. I'm not complaining. I mean, it was great. The bright lights, the buzz, the arcades. I mean, the excitement of those penny slot machines. And I'd stand there, adding coins, waiting to see if a big amount would drop, to see if I'd be a winner. And then we'd go and get chippy tea, and we'd sit on a bench and devour the salty fish and chips. People watching those who went by, wondering who they were, where they'd come from, and where they were going. And then we'd stroll along the beach, throwing pebbles into the sea, competing over whose pebbles would go the furthest. The sea was never ending, and the opportunities felt endless back then. I just stared at Mum sat in the hospital bed, all tubed up. I wish I could fix this. I don't know what I'm going to do, because she's like my best friend. And I don't know what I'll do when she's gone. Like, what will I do with myself with all the time? For me. Time goes by so quickly, it's like I've blinked and I've just ended up here. No qualifications, no aspirations, just a bit stuck. It used to be the other way round. Mum would read me stories before bedtime, and my favourite was The Hungry Caterpillar. I'd get so hungry every time she'd read it to me, and then next thing I know, I'd be out like a light. Mum would watch me sleep, and I'd try and keep one eye open as not to miss her. And then I'd wake up, and she'd be peering over me, and she'd say, "You look so peaceful when you sleep." Cheesy, I know. But I think back on it now and realise how sweet it was. She looked so peaceful and content. All our worries seem to vanish when she's still. I stroke her hair, so many grey strands, and the creases that have formed in her face over the years, the way her skin lags and is no longer taut. She's gotten old. I cherish this moment and I'm grateful that she's here and that she's okay. That's all I want, for a mum to be okay. It's gotten a lot worse over the years. I know I'm with her all the time, but I can see the deterioration and it's so drastic. I feel so helpless. But the doctors say there's no cure, nothing you can do, and she'll just keep getting worse. I mean, what am I meant to do? How am I meant to stay positive when I know eventually she'll...
So how have you been finding the carers group?
It's all right.
Must be nice for you to be around young people who have the same experiences as you.
It's not the same though. We don't all have the same experiences.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, it's chill.
I've managed to get you some more financial support.
What do you mean?
Things you might need. A bus pass, a general allowance, activities you might want to do.
Thanks, but you didn't have to.
It's my job. It's my job to try and support you in any way I can. You don't have to struggle.
You like to assume things, don't you?
Just trying to help.
Yeah, I've said thanks.
You remind me of my daughter.
But I'm not. I've got a mum.
Simony, I'm not trying to be your mum here.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't know why. My head's just been all over the place at the moment.
It's probably due to all the change. But change can be a good thing.
I guess so. I'm on the bus on the way to school and I'm looking at all the market stalls setting up for the day. The vibrant, colourful fruits and vegetables. Everybody setting up for the day ahead. I don't really want to go to school at the moment. I've actually got an exam today, but I'm more concerned about Mum after her most recent fall. I mean, I'll be worried all day, full of anxieties. I shouldn't be there. All I want to do is sleep. I don't have to focus on what's going on when I'm asleep.
What can Manchester schools do to let young carers know that they're there to support them?
I once had a boyfriend, or at least I thought I did. I mean, I never really paid boys much attention, but there was this one that I had a crush on, James Butterfield. He had jet black hair, piercing blue eyes, and a really cheeky smile. And I remember one day he passed me a note in maths and it said, "Simony, will you be my girlfriend?" And I wrote, "Yes," with a big heart. I was 13 and couldn't believe my luck. I had a boyfriend. I walked into registration the next day and everybody started giggling. And James walked over to me and my heart started beating so fast. And he looked me dead in the eyes and announced in front of the whole school that it was just a joke. A sudden rage came over me and my cheeks flushed red. So I slapped him right across the face. I mean, everyone cheered. I left, ran straight out the gates and all the way home. Mum tried to ask me if I was okay when I got back, but I told her to leave me alone, slammed my bedroom door shut and cried into my pillow for what felt like hours. I got over it. Of course I did. It's not the worst thing that's ever happened to me. So when I turned 19, I met this guy, and he was my first date. And let's just say it didn't go very well. I mean, I'd gotten all dressed up and everything. I'd even put makeup on. I managed to find this old dress that I could squeeze into. And Mum said I looked dead beautiful. Felt nice to hear her compliment me. And she wished me luck. And I was out the door.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, fine. And you?
All the better to finally meet you, eh?
Sure.
Ah, you look nice still, you know. Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, so can I get you a drink or what?
Yeah, I'll have whatever you're having.
Well, I'm drinking whiskey, you sure?
Actually, I don't drink.
Really?
It's never been my kind of thing.
What, you like an alcoholic or something?
Seriously.
Ah, come on, it was just a joke, man.
Yeah, well, it wasn't very funny.
You're pretty serious, aren't you?
You like to make assumptions, don't you?
Just trying to gauge you.
Fair enough.
So, tell me a bit about yourself.
There's not much to say, really. My life's pretty mundane.
Perhaps I can make it more exciting. What do you enjoy doing? Like, any cool hobbies, travelling?
Oh, well, I've never actually travelled outside the country.
Surprising.
I mean, I'd like to, but I just have other priorities.
Oh yeah, like what?
I'd rather not get into that right now.
You don't give much away, do you?
I guess not. What about you?
Well, I took a gap year, travelled to Southeast Asia for 3 months and learnt loads about the culture, you know.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, who did you go with?
On my own.
I could never.
What? You're capable of more than you think?
Yeah, right.
Listen, yeah, you just gotta get out your comfort zone.
I like to stick to what I know.
Guess we're pretty different then.
Oh, sorry, I actually have to get this. Hi, Mum. Yeah? You okay? You remember I'm on a date, right? Yeah, no, that's fine. It's okay to forget. All right. I'll see you soon. I had to block and delete him. I mean, I was just embarrassed, so I left without saying anything. I know it's not the best way to deal with things, but I mean, I didn't know what else to do. I don't want to blame Mum, of course, but I did think about what would have happened if she hadn't have called. But I had to pick up, make sure she was okay. Turns out she had a bed sore. I kept thinking about what he'd said. That I need to get out of my comfort zone. And, you know, I want to, but I just don't know how. I mean, where do I start? I blew it with him. Mum had to go to the hospital and she was crying because she was in so much pain from the bed sore. And the doctor was asking me questions to find out how it happened, and I told him, yeah, she's lost a lot of weight, so it's probably due to her low weight. I know I'd been taking care of her. I'd been looking after her. But the bed sore had become infected. And I didn't notice it. I should have noticed it. Wish Mum could have communicated it to me sooner. It's just all so frustrating. It's hard trying to fit in. I think that's where I go wrong. I'm not managing to find proper friends. I once had a close friendship group in school, but
I always felt like I was on the outside looking in. And I'd always get grief for not going to Amber Jenkins' sleepover. They teased me, called me a baby. I'd lied, told them Mum wouldn't let me. And then the next day I came in and everybody was talking about how much fun they'd had at Amber's sleepover. And I just felt left out. But then sleepover after sleepover, party after party, I just kind of got used to it. I couldn't really keep a friend group. I guess my mum's my best friend. And, you know, I don't have any siblings, and they say, those are your first friends. I wonder if they do a dating app for friends. I wonder if that'd work. I mean, I guess I have you lot now. Not to sound ungrateful or out. I'm very thankful for how much you've listened to me over the past few months. I mean, I know I go on and on and on, but I guess that's what happens when you've never really spoken about your troubles. Talking has made me realise how much I've been holding in, and it's been a great exhale, a great release. Thank you. I'll let someone else go now.
Do you think it's important that all young people learn about young carers? If so, why?
I go to wake Mum up to the stench of urine. Oh, this is happening more often now. See, Mum can't control her bladder as well as she used to. She looked at me with shame and I said, hold on, Mum, it's fine, I can sort it. And she burst out into tears and reached out to me. And I hold her in my arms. And I stroke her back to soothe her and kiss her forehead as if she were my own child. I never thought we'd be here like this. Me looking after her like this. I can tell she hates it. She thinks I do. Do I? I mean, I can't talk to her about it. Every time I speak about how we're both truly feeling it, she just gets more distressed, so I leave it and reassure her that everything's okay. I am worried about it. I mean, wouldn't you be? How do you build up the courage to take a test that'll change the course of your life? I mean, it'll change everything. I'll not sleep for weeks whilst I wait for the results. I mean, do I want to do that to myself? What would you do? If you were in my shoes, would you want to know? You would. I mean, I get it, but knowing doesn't mean peace. I mean, then you'll know what you have to come. I mean, would you live your life fully? I mean, would you even live how you should do? I mean, you feel guilty. Why her and not me? I mean, I could easily have it. I mean, I have to face facts. I take Mum out in a wheelchair a lot now because of her balance. She can walk, but not safely. I'd either have to constantly clutch her arm or get her to use her crutches, which she refuses to do. I mean, the wheelchair is actually a lot less hassle. And we visit different independent cafes around town. The sweet treats, of course. I mean, that sweet smell as soon as you walk in.
We try something different every time. Cinnamon rolls, cookies, pastries, brownies. I mean, I swear, some of them smell better than they taste. And it's great because it means Mum's putting on weight. I mean, for me, it's a miracle I'm not overweight. I guess I'm a fairly active person, you know, always on the go. Or metabolism. I should probably hold on. I'm not squeamish, like, at all. I mean, gore fascinates me, and I love horror films. But the smell, it makes me queasy. That opened wound smell, oh, it's not pleasant. It's probably why I struggled with the bedsore dressing. Not because of the way that it looked, but the way that it smells, it made me gag. I know we all do what we have to, but it just gets to me. Right, look, yeah, I admit it. I had to grow up quickly, but I feel like it made me a better person. Surely that's a good thing.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but perhaps it's time you acknowledged it.
I guess so.
Have you had any more thoughts about your career, your future?
Maybe I could work in a laundrette. What? I'm being serious. I mean, I'm a pro at laundry and I love the smell of fresh clothes.
You don't have to pretend with me.
I'm not pretending.
Right, we'll talk about this another time when you might want to start taking it seriously.
I wish she'd leave me alone. She's always getting on at me and I'm over it. Things have changed again. I was fine, we were fine. Who's she to tell me what to do with myself? I wish I could get away from here, just go on holiday and explore another culture. I'm not even scared of planes. I think I'd quite like flying high above the clouds. I mean, my only reference to flights are in TV and films, but the air hostesses always look so glam. Imagine being able to look good for work, travelling from country to country for your job. I mean, it'd be awesome. It's hard not being able to communicate with somebody that you love, someone that you care about. And you can't remember what you spoke about 30 minutes ago. And they lose every sense of themselves. I'm mourning. I mean, the relationship I have with my mum will never be the same again. It's tough because she's mentally sound. She just can't conversate. It's tough and it makes me angry and upset. I mean, what did we do to deserve this? And I'm at a total loss because if I leave her, she won't have anyone, not properly. No one connects with her the way that I do. And I'd feel guilty. I wouldn't want her to resent me. But I'll notice it more. The less that I see her, the more I'll see the deterioration. And I don't know if I can take it. It's just too hard. I find this also difficult because I feel like I can't explain it and I should show you. Like my words don't do it justice. I feel like it doesn't sound bad, but truthfully, it is. So, since a social worker brought over the keyboard translator, it's become much easier to communicate. I mean, we usually use non-verbal communication. I can usually tell what she needs, and sometimes I get it wrong, but on the whole, it's fine. I mean, the keyboard's fun. Mum likes to tell jokes through it, which makes me smile because it shows that she's still switched on. She hasn't completely lost herself. I mean, she was an intelligent woman. Sorry, she is an intelligent woman. I'm adapting as each day comes, and I've learnt so much since being a young carer. I'm running for the bus and I just about catch it before it leaves. I can hear the engine humming. Oh, I look around in my bag. Oh. Keys clank. I dropped them on the floor and I apologised to everybody on the bus. Oh, bugger. I explained to the bus driver that I've actually left my purse and asked if he takes card, and he said no. So then I asked him if he'll just let me off this once and I can pay you tomorrow. And he says, no, can do. I look around the bus looking for a friendly face, and there's a kid screaming at the top of his lungs because his mum won't give him any sweets. It's just mostly older people. I feel so humiliated. I turn around to step off the bus when there's this elderly lady stood there, and she asks me how much I need and proceeds to hand me a purse. I pay and thank her. I take the seat next to her, thanking her once again. And she's not actually from round here. I try and place her accent. Scouser, that's it. And she's dead old, like 70s. I mean, she's clearly lived a life.
You remind me of my granddaughter. She's very pretty like you.
Thank you. That's nice of you to say.
Are you still in school, love?
No, I left school a few years back.
Oh, well, you look young to be working.
I don't work either.
At university then?
No. Actually, I care for my mum. She's disabled.
Oh, love, that's great. Your mum is very lucky to have you.
Thank you. I've got to make a quick phone call, but it was really nice to meet you.
What transferable skills do you think Simony has?
For the rest of the day, I just kept thinking about what the older lady had said to me. That my mum was lucky to have me. And I mean, she's not wrong, but I'm also lucky to have her. To have what we have or had. I've learnt so much since being a young carer.
So, have you had any more thoughts about studying? What do you make of the list of diplomas I sent you?
I have, but I just don't know what I'd really be good at.
Well, how would you like to spend your time? You did say you were interested in health and social care, or that you've always wanted to travel.
I am. I just don't know.
Well, you have a think about it, all right? There are options for you.
I applied for this customer service role. It's front of house work at a local art gallery. I saw the ad in a corner shop and they actually pay quite well for around here. I couldn't manage to put a CV together, so I had to make sure that my cover letter was enticing. And it actually worked. I haven't told Mum, but I've got the interview coming up. I'm worried it'll upset her. And that's the last thing that I want to do. I mean, the social worker's been talking about getting her a full-time carer. Said it'll help me get out there and start living for myself. And I understand it, but the change, I'm just so overwhelmed by it all. I think I've probably made 1,000 cups of tea in my lifetime. I mean, every time somebody comes to our house, the kettle is put to work.
I mean, all it takes a second to heat up. See, I think I've learned the art of tea making. I learned it from Mum, and she's the expert tea maker. She can somehow estimate the exact right amount of milk to put in the cup before adding the water. Tea bag goes in, kettle whirls to a boil, and then you pour the hot water in and let it brew. It would always be a perfect caramel brown. I mean, me personally, I prefer to add the tea bag, then the hot water, and let it brew and add the milk. I mean, then you can see the colour develop. I mean, nobody likes a milky cup of tea, right?
Hello, Simony. Lovely to meet you. No, thanks. How are you?
Fine, thanks. And you?
Good. Take a seat.
Sorry.
So, how about you start off telling us a little bit about your work experience?
Well, I haven't actually had a job before, but I know how to look after people. I've been looking after my mum for years.
Okay, but what about interacting with customers?
Well, I interact with a lot of social service people, which has helped me build my confidence in interacting with others. Look, I know I don't necessarily have the experience for this job, but I'm a fast learner.
Right, I see. If you don't mind me asking, do you still care for your mum?
Currently, yeah. But she'll be getting a full-time carer soon, so I'll need a paid job, so I'm available.
Okay, we'd be looking for someone available 35 hours a week. Does that work?
I can commit.
It's a fairly demanding role.
It's fine by me.
Okay. Can you give me an example of a time you've shown exceptional customer service?
Well, I give my mum great customer service. Okay, I'm joking. Obviously, I can't draw on a particular experience, but I know I can do this job.
Right. Look, you seem like a lovely girl, but without any experience, it'd be hard for us to offer you a role.
Oh, please, just give me a chance. I mean...
I'm afraid you just don't have the experience that we're looking for.
How am I meant to get experience if you don't give me a chance? Oh, do you know what? Forget it. I knew this would be a waste of my time. Stuff your job. Sorry. I don't know why I reacted. I shouldn't have. Oh, it's so frustrating. To get a job, you need experience, but need a job to get experience. It just doesn't make any sense. I just don't see the point of it anymore. I try and apply myself and it just backfires. And I mean, there's no point in studying. I'll just end up in loads of debt and nothing to show for it. And even if I did graduate, would my mum even be there to see it?
Bit cold today, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm laid up though.
I can see. Nice jumper.
It's well old. Mum got it for me.
Nice. Hopefully the sun will be back again soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
Look, Simone, I want you to listen to me. I'm going to be completely honest with you. You're too young to be taking on this kind of responsibility. I want you to realise that you can live your own life. You're not alone. You don't have to carry the burden. You can follow your dreams. Your mum is so proud of you, and I am too. You've done so well to get this far on your own. You're strong, you're brave, and you're smarter than you think. Please, just believe in yourself.
I'm not doing it. I'm not.
Doing what?
Taking the test. I'm not taking the test.
Oh, we discussed it and you said that you
No, I don't want to know. I'm not taking it.
If you do, you'll be aware.
I'd rather not.
Look, I can't force you to. So,
Thank you. I'll live blissfully unaware of it, and I'm fine with that, and you should be too.
I can't tell you how to live your life, love.
Thanks. Now, can we discuss diplomas?
I had one of the best nights I've had in a long time. One where I didn't even check my phone. I mean, it was off, but it stayed off. And it was dead funny because we went out to karaoke and Steph can't sing to save her life. She sounds like a strangled cat. We cried real tears of laughter. I mean, my tummy even hurt from laughing so much. And then when I did turn it on, nothing. Mum had been fine without me. The carer had been there for her instead. And I didn't have to be. When I got home, I asked Nicole, the NHS carer, how Mum had been, and she said Mum was asleep. She said that they'd been playing this memory game and Mum kept beating her, which made me smile because it shows she hasn't completely lost herself. It felt nice to have some help. The caring had been shared. It was a huge relief and weight off my shoulders. I think I'll have some more nights out, and I think we'll see some more of Nicole. I applied to become an air hostess. It's a PG diploma in travel, aviation, hospitality and customer service. I did it. I took the first step for me. I mean, it was hard, the application. It took ages to finish, but I'm glad I did. I mean, I'm not getting my hopes up. My GCSEs are hardly perfect, but I'm resitting my maths GCSE to get a C grade. Mum says she's happy for me, proud that I'm putting myself first. And she said she can't wait to hear all the stories about my travels.
Young carers have a lot to be proud of. They do an amazing and important job. They develop their skills that are valuable both now and in their future. Our hope is that the Senses of Responsibility play helps young carers to recognise their skills, feel proud of their role, and for them to know that they are not alone. We want young carers to know that they are valued and supported to achieve their aspirations and consider a future beyond their caring responsibilities.
I'm sorry if it rains and I feel down. There's always a rainbow behind the clouds. It sometimes feels strong and I feel proud. When life gets tough, I